Hey guys, what's up? It's Melody. Today we are going to be talking about the food diary. And I've already done this video once, but when I was reviewing the footage, I was thinking to myself, this sounds very negative. I should focus more on why before I just throw all the categories to look out for, because there are so many reasons why to keep a food diary or why we should pay attention. I'm so passionate about this topic in particular. I think that the wardrobe video and this video can change your life in the biggest ways. This can change your shopping habits forever, and it can really add to minimalism because no longer are you going to be going through so many different categories. And even if you don't follow this, at least you will know what food is causing what. You will know what effect each food has on you, which is invaluable. Going to be living for another 20, 50, 60 years. It is worth figuring out what kind of effect food has on you, even if you don't follow it rigorously. And I don't. I break the rules all of the time because I get busy. Also, when I'm out and about, I'm not going to put all of my dietary preferences on someone else, but I notice when I keep it close to what foods work the best for me, I perform and I look the best. So it's still worth knowing, because you might be planning some party or some prom or something like that, and a holiday is coming up and you want to look great. Well, you know where to start. So the 3 reasons why we should keep a food diary is: 1 is for appearance. Obviously, food affects the way you look, the way that your teeth looks, especially your teeth. So it affects the way you look, and then it also affects the way you feel. Energy and mood is affected by food so much. In fact, if you have depression or other things like that, carbohydrates can bring your mood even lower. So the less carbohydrates you consume, the better you feel all the way around. When I eat very carbohydrate light and I get a lot of sunshine, my mood is through the roof. I have a lot more energy than anything else. So sugar and carbohydrates can really bring down mood. And the very last reason why you want to keep a food diary is because when you go to the grocery store, you want it to be quick, you want it to be efficient. It's not going to be quick and efficient if you're going to literally every single aisle. In this way, you can streamline your recipe cards, streamline your cooking. Therefore, when you come home, you have so few things to put away. The more that you buy, the more that you have to put away. So it makes sense to eliminate and focus in on the foods that really make you feel great. A lot of these categories that are not that good for us are the categories that are actually expensive. So we will save so much money while looking and feeling great. Pay really close attention, because the closer you pay attention, the more mindful you are and in the moment you are, the less detailed you will have to keep notes. So if you're always zoning out or you're missing patterns, you're going to have to keep detailed notes to recognize what is connected to what. How you keep your food diary depends on you. If you are a detail-oriented person, you can break it down into categories as much as you want to if that is what you enjoy. For me, I just keep a very broad view of it. Just maybe write down the 3 or 2 meals I ate that day, and that's it. And then I try to recognize a pattern. So the main thing is you just want to be very cognizant of what's happening. So for a long time, I knew that I was getting migraines after I was eating chicken broth, but I didn't know why. Every bone broth has a naturally occurring form of MSG. And in fact, if you have migraines and you have digestive issues, anything like that, you want to look it up online and say, what are the foods that causes this? What are the top foods that cause this? Then you can be extra careful with those. Another thing that I want to add is don't make assumptions about anything. That's just a good general rule to have in life, but especially when it comes to food. Just because you've been told it's healthy all of your life, that's the worst thing that you can do, is just take things at face value, take advice, which is subjective, and apply it broadly as if it were objective. You want to be very careful and make sure that everything is working for you, including fruits. For instance, and this is the first category we're going to tackle, but acid. Citrus, for me, will cause migraines. So if I have too much citrus at once in my smoothies, I will for sure get a tiny migraine. So it's things like that. Just don't make any assumptions. Another reason to be careful with citrus is because citrus wears at the enamel of your teeth, which can make your teeth over time be more sensitive, and also wear away the look and the beauty of it. How I wish I knew that about acid and sugar early on. That's why I'm saying, if you know of a young person, get to them with this video now, because then they can start seeing connections for themselves. The second category you want to be careful for is probably the category that causes the most trouble for anyone, and that is dairy. I'm primarily Asian, and therefore I can't consume dairy very easily. Doesn't mean I avoid it completely. It just means that I perform so much better, I sleep so much better, everything, mood, wallet, everything's improved when I eliminate it. So although I am not very particular when I'm out of the house, I will try as best as possible to minimize it at home. The third category is sugar. Anything high in sugar is obviously going to be bad for you. That goes without saying. That's why I'm not going to cover high fat foods like fries and chips in this video, because that just goes without saying. There's probably a link to a lot of things with those categories. Sugar right now is a really big problem because it is linked to heart disease and cancer, which is the two top killers right now in the US. It wears away at your teeth, causing cavities, which can be very expensive. And it also is linked to many different skin conditions. It just makes your skin a lot less glowy. So when I have green smoothies, I feel revitalized and my skin is glowing. When you have sugar and carbohydrates together, in breakfast foods or in desserts, oftentimes you can just look so dull and feel the same way. This is my greatest weakness. I love sugar. You want to especially be careful for it in drinks. As a general rule, try to stick to only water. So in that vein, I try to consume as little broth, as little dairy, as little acid in the form of tomato juice, and as little sugar drinks as possible. This is for two reasons. It's not just because my mood and appearance improves, but also it's expensive, and also carrying that into the house is something else. If you have to carry everything up the stairs, or you're trying to haul everything in, or getting your sons to haul everything in, then maybe we can consider, maybe I could just stick to water from here on out and the occasional broth. We've got 3 more categories to look out for in your food diary. You want to keep it in the middle of your notebook because that's where you keep all the running projects. The last 3 categories is pork and shellfish. Pork and shellfish, over all of the proteins, cause the most digestive issues, the most problems. If you can stay away from pork and shellfish, your life will dramatically improve. Not only that, but when I used to eat a lot of bacon, I would use the oven a lot, which created a whole nother chore. Now that I rarely use the oven, I never have to clean it. So that's a big load off, because let me just say, cleaning the oven is about as fun as cleaning the tub. Deli meat also. Deli meat has a lot of nitrates in it, so you want to make sure that the deli meat specifically that you're buying is one without nitrates. And the second to the last category is spicy food. My rule is, don't try to be someone that's showing off and go after spicy food. There's no shame to the game if you can't handle spicy food and you like to have everything mild. For me, the more bland, the better. That's my motto. Spiciness and condiments and everything like that, obviously they don't add to our health whatsoever. So if you can't handle spicy food, good for you. That's actually a good thing. And the very last category is carbohydrates, breads. The first problem is that it weighs on mood. So people who suffer from depression or other things like that, their therapist might tell them to stay away from carbohydrates or to at least bring it down some. And the other problem with mainly eating bread is that bread comes in a predefined amount, and so if you're not that hungry, you're going to feel like you should probably eat the whole sandwich anyway. When you eat just crackers at lunch, for instance, like I do, you can stop when you're full. You're basically training your body to recognize when it's satiated, which encourages mindfulness, and mindfulness goes hand in hand with minimalism. So crackers and rice, those things, when you're having them with dinner, when you're having them with lunch, is training yourself to say, how much do I actually need? I don't need to eat a set amount. In every way, I feel better if I stick to rice and also crackers. Doesn't mean I don't have bread when I go out of the house. It just means that's where I perform optimally. I hope you'll give these a try, at least even if you don't keep a food diary. I hope you'll keep an eye on these categories, because this potentially can change your life and especially your kids' life. Everybody should try this. I hope that you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a like and to subscribe, and I'll see you next Sunday in the next Minimalist and Organization video.